Welcome back to AM Northwest. A study recently named Portland one of the worst cities for traffic. Well done. Well done. Well, we don't need a study to know that. We all know that, right? So here with help for putting that time to good use, we welcome clinical psychologist Dr. Goli Sadie. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
It is amazing that we have such horrible traffic because we're like the number 25 major market cities. So we're not, but we're always in a top 10 list. So the first thing you say we should do, stuck in traffic, is unplug.
Yes, so it sounds a little counterintuitive because I think so many times we're so addicted to our devices.
Right.
And it's not just that it's just making us really unsafe drivers, but it's really distracting. That's something where we need to just say, you know what, put this away, take a break from it. Some studies are actually showing that constant pinging that you get increases your anxiety quite a bit.
Yeah, because you want to answer it. You want to look and see what text you got.
Oh, that's so true, because I put my phone on the other seat so I can't look at it while I'm driving.
Yeah.
But when I hear that buzz or anything, it's like, what could it be? What could it be? It'll be something great, won't it? And I want to pull over and look, and it's just, can you get bread? You know, it's not anything good.
Exactly. It never really is. Right. And so it's really just good to say, you know what, this is my 1 hour, if that's your commute, to unplug.
Or you also say to practice gratitude, which is kind of tough to do in traffic.
It is. You know, a lot of happiness researchers, they talk about the attitude of gratitude. So researchers have shown in positive psychology that just listing 3 things each day that you're grateful for actually improves your happiness over time. So oftentimes people will journal that. But one thing to do is, you know what, what's actually going well for me right now? So, you know, when we had that winter storm, it was so cold outside and, you know, traffic was really at a crawl. And I thought to myself, you know what, I have the heat of my car. I have a nice cup of warm tea. You know, I have good music going on. This is okay. So really just thinking about what are the things that are going well. Because when you are in that space of feeling really frustrated, you just keep ruminating and you find more and more things to be annoyed about.
An exercise that I think might be helpful to play is pretend you're not you and look at your life. You know, because grass is always greener.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Until you
Wow, look at you. You could be a clinical psychologist.
No, but I've been to so many. It's a constant work in progress. No, but because all we see is, you know, cow pie in our pasture. Other people see the green grass, right? So, you say breathe, which I think is helpful because otherwise you die behind the wheel.
You really do. Yeah. And you know, breathing I think is also about anxiety management and stress management. And so I oftentimes talk about diaphragmatic breathing, and that's what we do, that we recommend to people who might be having, let's say, panic attacks.
What is that kind of breathing?
So I can actually demonstrate it right now.
Please.
So, you know, you're usually breathing from your chest because you're feeling a little bit maybe anxious, and so it's these shorter, shallow breaths that we take. But let's say, you know, when you're looking at a baby, how are they breathing in the crib? It's their little belly, right, that's rising and falling, and that's the most natural form of breath. So you can put one hand on your abdomen and one hand on your chest and see which is the one that's rising and falling.
Well, I'm purposely now breathing from my belly.
Yeah. But that's really, you want the deep belly breath. And I oftentimes recommend to clients, to patients, I say, you know what, 10 in the morning, 10 before you go to bed at night, and throughout your day can really slow down that breathing. For some folks, the diaphragmatic might feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know.
It pushes out my space.
I've heard that argument. You know?
Don't you have the space with the extra give?
There's other ways of doing breathing. So you can just count your breaths from 1 to 10. Another thing you can do is just elongate. So maybe inhale for a count of 4, pause, exhale for a count of 4, and pause, and then do that again.
It calms you down.
It
really does work.
It does work.
So relaxing is essentially what you're asking people to do.
Yeah, you know, and what you could do is you could put on relaxing music. Some people will put on, you know, this really upbeat music and say, well, this is what keeps me awake. But that can actually lead to agitation as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So you want to do that, you know, think about having it be a nice, comfortable environment. Do you have water to hydrate? Do you have snacks in the car as you might need them? I went to a workshop recently and they talked about essential oils, you know, aromatherapy. So maybe take a cotton swab, you know, put it in lavender or eucalyptus, put that in your car vent, and that's something that will be a soothing environment to you as well.
Not a bad idea.
Then you also say stop.
Yeah. So stop. I think it's just a matter of being mindful, you know, in the moment. We talk about mindfulness so much in the popular media. We hear about it and it's like, what is mindfulness? And really it's just awareness, moment to moment. So when you're sitting in the car, it's almost meditative in a way of, you know, what is the surface that I'm sitting on? What are the scents that I'm taking in, the sounds that I'm hearing? And just thinking about your thoughts, you know, and letting them go. So I say anxiety is oftentimes thinking about a future that hasn't happened.
Right.
And depressive thoughts is living in the past and ruminating. So once you just let that go, you're here, you know, in the here and now. Maybe it's uncomfortable, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
Good
that's
tips.
probably the hardest thing for people to do,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, I know it is for us, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah, indeed. Very good
Yeah.
tips. We'll have them on the website
Thank
too
you.
at k2.com. Thanks for coming
Perfect.
by.
Thank
Good
you
luck
for
driving
having me.
back to work.
Thank you.